Now, question number 4. Which of the following are true about foreign currency convertible bond? This is a 2022 prelims question. Okay, not the exact question. I'm telling topic. It was asked. Okay, so now you should understand. It is issued in a currency different than the issuer's domestic currency. Okay, that is actually true. And that is why if you see here, foreign currency, name itself is foreign currency. So that is true statement. Second one, the principal repayment and periodic coupon payment, that is the interest payment, will be made in a foreign currency. Okay, so that is also true. Now, example of this FCCB, an American listed company that issues a bond in India in dollars. So that is wrong because, as I told, in a foreign currency only it will do. So if it's issuing a bond in India, it will be in what? It will be in rupees. So that basic common sense if you have, you will get the answer as 1 and 2 only. Okay, here it should be rupees instead of dollars. It should be different from the issuer's domestic currency. So statement 1 is true. Statement 2 is also true as all the payments are done in foreign currency. This is basic and very simple. But now we'll understand the concept. Okay. So here if you see it's a big term. So each term you have to understand. What is a bond you have to understand. What is a convertible bond you have to understand. Then now as I told it's a foreign currency convertible bond. Okay. So backwards if you go you will understand. Now. So bond is what? Bond is a debt instrument. You should know basic terms like what is debt, what is equity. In our last this also I told you. Okay, debt is like you are borrowing or something you are getting. Okay, but equity is like you are getting a hold on it. You are getting a share of it. Okay. Now a bond is a debt instrument that provides income to investors in the form of regular scheduled interest payment called coupons. At the maturity date of the bond, investors are repaid full face value. This I explained to you that time also when I was telling T-bills. I told you what is a bond. Okay, it's a paper and you will buy it for 100 rupees and you will keep getting interest based on the interest rate, and when it's matured you will get back your 100 rupees when you give back that paper. Paper means that bond. Okay, bond, security, all these means the same only. Now a bond holder with a convertible bond, okay, now we have to understand convertible bond, has the option of converting the bond into a specified number of shares in the issuing company. Okay, meaning suppose here they are given example, you don't have to buy heart everything, like Twitter has this much convertible bond, suppose it has, and it has a 7-year bond, that is 7-year maturity, $1,000 face value, 1% interest rate, and there is a conversion rate also they will mention. Okay, that is only for convertible bond I'm telling, there will be a conversion rate also. So that means you can give your this much percentage of your bond, okay, if it's $1,000 value, you can buy that many shares. Okay, meaning I want to convert my bond, that's my debt, into an equity concept, into a share concept. That is the one benefit of convertible bond. Okay, so it's a mix of debt and equity. This is one statement which UPSC asked. Okay, convertible bond is a mix of debt and equity. Okay, so investor can effectively purchase that many shares, okay, how much ever they Twitter or whichever company announce, for that money. Okay, like 1,000 is the face value, so 1,000 by this much. So this calculation all don't buy hard, but I'm telling they can buy that many shares at that much money based on the how much you bought it, how much face value you bought it. Okay, now over the lifetime of the bond, what happens is, share, stock market and all, it keeps fluctuating. Sometimes the share will go very high, but you bought it at this much price only, right? You bought it at only 77. Now what if the stock price is going high? It's like 78 and 79, 80 and all. You bought it for a cheaper rate, so you can again now exchange it and you can get back more money. Okay, so I'm telling A person has bond and B person has convertible bond. That B person always have a benefit of converting into equity, and whenever its share goes high, you will be getting extra bonus money from that. Okay, I hope you're understanding. It's a basic difference only you have to understand. It can be converted into equity, and based on that you can, or maybe you cannot, because sometimes stock market will go down also. Okay, but when it go down, you don't have to worry about that, because that time you will be getting based on the original face value whatever you bought. It doesn't matter it goes down or not. Okay, so if it goes high, you will gain. If it goes low, you don't have any loss. Okay, so FCCB, now same thing only, but here that issuing will be in a different currency. It's a type of convertible bond issued in a currency different from the issuer's domestic currency. In other words, the money being raised by the issuing company is in the form of a foreign currency. Okay, meaning whenever somebody sells a bond, they will take money from you, right? That will be in a different currency, that's all. A convertible bond is a mix between debt and equity. It acts like a bond by making regular coupon and principal payment, but this bond also gives the bondholder the option to convert the bond into stock. This is the only difference, whatever I have highlighted. Now the 2022 statements, if you see, for which answer key is yet to come, but this is how it will be. This is the statement actually, what is bold. As there is an option to exchange the bond for equity, convertible bonds pay a lower interest. Okay, this is actually UPSC statement, and this is actually true statement also. Okay, because as I told, they have that option. Generally, if you see, compared to normal bond, convertible bond will be offering lesser interest payment, because interest is forward. That is the plus, that is the benefit you are giving to customer. So customer, they will tell, instead of bond, I will give you convertible bond, but you please take lesser interest from us. Okay, because other bond, there is no other benefit, right? So they have to give good interest. Convertible bond, because you have that option to convert into equity, they are telling you, we'll give you lesser interest only, but later you have the option to make it this thing. Okay, make it equity. Investors will generally accept it also, accept a lower coupon rate on a convertible bond compared with the coupon rate on an otherwise identical regular bond because of its conversion feature. This enables the issuer to save on interest expenses, which can be substantial in the case of a large bond issue. Okay, usually because of the bond things, they have to give large interest payment to customers, but because they are offering convertible bond, they will give lesser interest options. Okay, now second statement which UPSC asked, the option to convert the equity affords the bondholder a degree of indexation to rising consumer prices. So this was a very difficult statement and most of the students have skipped it, or if maybe they didn't even understand, they did something wrong. Okay, so now again, the equity prices, okay, when you convert a bond into equity, equity prices may differ widely from the given interest, and the difference in that can be used as a hedge for the inflation. Okay, meaning when you convert, as I told, when you convert bond to equity, you may be getting a lot of benefit out of it if the stock price goes high. Okay, so whenever inflation or something happens, it will act as a hedge for inflation. It will act as a cover up for inflation. Okay, so here if you see, the option to convert to equity, that is convertible bond, affords the bond holder a degree of indexation to rising consumer prices, meaning rising inflation. So they are helping you afford the inflation, a kind of, that is the simplest way I can tell you. Okay, you don't have to now dig deep into it because this is a like rare chances when UPSC asks you difficult questions. Okay, economics questions usually comes easy, but this kind of statements formation is very rarely done. And 2022 they decided to do this, and both the statements are true. Answer is both 1 and 2 for this. When answer key comes, I'll explain it further. Okay, and we have a separate playlist for 2022 MCQ. That time I'll again explain this question. So don't worry on that. Okay, that will be free of cost put in YouTube. You don't have to worry. But at least understand, UPSC is asking you difficult questions on a term, that is convertible bond, which usually in any textbook you can't find. Usually in every coaching institute they won't teach you. Okay, but we have covered it, and this is the extra statement which UPSC asked.